On my Ides of March stream, I had to go at the Spectrum Gauge Sword Slayer, which I owned as a kid and even completed as a kid. So I thought, let's get a video of me proving it. So this is Sword Slayer, which was published in 1988 by Players Software, and it cost £1.99. This is the 128k version, which is now loading. You do get a loading screen. It's a 1 or 2 player game where you are a gladiator escaping from the arena and fighting for freedom. There's also a 2 player game where the 2 sprites just fight each other. And as it's a 128k game, it takes an awfully long time to load. It takes 10 minutes to load. 10 minutes. So the creators are Kevin Parker, Jabba7, Mike Brown, Andy7 and Sonia Knight, and it was developed by 1 Week Productions. So Kevin Parker did the code, Jabba7 did the in-game graphics and the load screen, as we can see here, Mike Brown did the music, Andy7 and Sonia Knight did the sound effects, and Peter Austin did the inlay and the poster art. If you look at the inlay, you can see here it looks exciting. It looks an exciting game, and the screenshots look really good. So that's why I bought it as a kid. Yes, I thought, yes, I'll have a bit of this. Thank you ever so much. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, 128k games took a long time to load, because obviously there's a lot more data. Once you loaded though, you get beautiful 128k music. Lovely fonts, lovely scrolling text. Enjoy the music, because it doesn't play in the game, which is a shame. Press C for controls. 1 for player 1, because it is a 2-player game if you want it to be. So I'm player 1, I'm going to choose Sinclair, which is 67890. This is the end of my first go. I'm on level 8. I'm now fighting an eagle in a temple. I need to get past this eagle to escape. And the eagles bit me, and Spartacus fails to escape from his Roman captors, losing his life in the attempt. Let's try it again, but this time, let's win. You get no continues, there is no healing, any damage you take is permanent, and you start off with 4 health points. Once you lose all 4, it is game over. I was ideally hoping for a no wounds clear, but I didn't manage that. But I definitely got a no death clear, because any clear of this game is a no death clear. And for the record, we are not using any pokes. Pokes are available, I'm not using them. Scene 1. Crassus watches Spartacus as he fights to the death with his finest arena gladiators. So I'm the bloke on the left with the mullet. Blokey on the right with the sallet helmet, which is not really right. He's the gladiator I'm fighting. You do damage whenever your little explosion marker is on the enemy. And the best move is to crouch down and hold your dagger forward into the groin, because that way the explosion marker stays in place for longer, and that kills me off quite quickly. So now send someone else into the arena to fight me, who looks exactly the same. The arena background is nicely drawn, the sprites are big and chunky, so you just hold the thing forward, and then you do damage. He stands there, stabs you a bit, but your knife is in his groin, and then he jumps up and down a bit. That's not going to be any good for his health, really. You've got a dagger in your groin, jumping up and down is just going to make things worse, not better. You should know this. So keep moving forward. I've already lost 1 health point. When he loses a health point, though, he has to back off. Ideally, rack off. Scene 3, Crassus lets out his eagle into the arena. Eagle can fly forward, but stops about 2/3 of the way across the arena. You can only move about 1/3 of the way forward, so you have to wait for it to fly at you. If you attack too early, the eagle will just back away. So you just stab it just when it's about to attack you, and hopefully you won't do too much damage. I'm unclear as to whether your health is damaged anyway, or whether you get healed up to your 3 points whenever you go to the next level. So next level is we're now in the streets, and a Centurion is blocking my path. It is cyan. Your Centurion looks exactly the same as the Gladiators, but we have a new background of a little building and a fence and mountains in the background, which is rather pretty. I'm trying a different move here. It's not as good. The move is not as good, but your best move is to stab them in the groin. Which is why the Roman Emperor eventually fell, because their population collapsed because no one could have children. So edges forward here, down, and stab. After a while he backs off, and you pull your dagger back, and then just stab him in the balls again. He stands there waving his sword in the air. I'm not going to stand up into your sword, mate. How the ever did you get this? Oh, he jumped back there with a bit of excitement. Also note the sprites are reversed, so I'm right-handed and my enemies are all left-handed. Or sinister, as you say in Latin. He's dead. Spartacus cries, Service Liberate! In defiance, as deadly arrows fall around you. The arrows fly at you at different heights. The very highest arrows you need to duck. The very lowest arrows you need to jump. And arrows in the middle, you just stand there with your shield. As long as you don't do anything stupid, you stand there with your shield, and that's it. That's jumped an arrow there. The timing for the arrow jump is important. You don't jump for very long, and if you land on the arrow, you take damage. So don't land on the arrow. There, an arrow was coming at me, but anyway, we escaped. So now I'm escaping to the dusty streets of Capua, and I'm confronted by somebody else who looks identical in the same helmet. Lucky he had a helmet and a sword, and he's also left-handed. Perhaps he's Inigo Montoya. Main thing I know about Capua is that it sided with Hannibal during the Second Punic War. So he's taken another hit. Sound effects are good. 199 game, 10 minutes to load. You can do some overhead chopping of action as well. Or wave your sword around like him, but it's not as effective as just kneeling down and stabbing. So here, we've reached a stone temple. We can't rest here. An eagle shoots down out of the darkness. This is where I died last time. Again, we've now gone to yellow, and another new background, which is really rather lovely. There are 4 backgrounds in the game. The arena, the streets, the temple, and one more. The eagle just bobs back and forwards. You stab it a bit. Stab it some more. I've got 2 health points left, but half health. You never ever heal. It's an endurance race as well as just stabbing people. Excellent. The cry of the dying eagle alerts the attention of a sentry at his post, who challenges the escaping Spartacus. Here he is. Again, looks exactly like everyone else. It's all a bit Oblivion. You'd think they could have at least had different helmets or something. That would have made a bit of variety. Oh, he backed off there quite nicely. And stab. He's trying his best, bless him. Stabby, stabby, stab. And stab. Come on, Spartacus wants to give you a nice vasectomy. Come on, it's free. There we are. Stab. Yes, mate, I'm not standing up, so stabbing into my head when I'm not there isn't going to work. The 2-player game has the same limitations as well. You basically just kneel down and stab them in the groin. Chapter 9. I run to the temple garden and is confronted by a temple guard. Yep, temple garden looks exactly the same as the temple, and the guard looks exactly the same as the sentry, who looks the same as the centurion, who looks the same as the gladiator. If only they had different helmets. That'd be cool. I mean, different helmets would have been quite nice. Obviously, you can't have different body types because you want people fighting each other. Yeah, that's a big shame. Different helmets would have been good. Stab. Yeah, you jump back a bit. They are more lively, I think, as you go through the game. So, the other ones would stand there for a while with a dagger in their guts, and this guy, he's a bit more lively. It takes a bit longer to fight. Stab! Unfortunately, there's no. They don't learn from your tactics. Arrows fill the air as Spartacus enters a dark forest. Last scene of the game, arrows fired at you. And notice these arrows are considerably faster. You can advance across the screen, but there was no point doing so. It just makes it harder because you get less time to react. So again, it's simple. Duck when they're high, jump when they're low, and don't jump too early. There we are. Ferrus is nicely drawn. And now Ferrus the Centurion catches up with the escaping hero, and Spartacus prepares for the fight. He catches up with me, but then gets in front of me. So now, stab him again. This is nice and green. It's a good attractive colour of green, and the font at the top is really rather nice. And the animation's good. There we are, stab away. Stab. Stab. Stabby dab. Stab him in the nuts. Stab. There we go, back. Come on, come here, you coward. So you can't advance past them because their shield blocks you, and then they also try and stab you. So you just have to keep grinding them down. I've lost 2 health points for the whole game so far. Again, if I'm ducking, don't stab above my head. The end! Spartacus achieves his aim and escapes the Romans to live and fight another day. Hooray for me! And that's a 1 credit clear.